I think one of the things I love about Caitlyn the most is her understanding and like willingness to meet the moment and like do the thing that she knows everyone wants her to do.
She knows what the people want. Welcome back, everybody. As all of our YouTubers can see, we're in different rooms. Megan is away, which means I had the whole apartment to myself. I got to eat what I want. I got to watch what I want. Did you feel as liberated?
No, I was stuck on a plane the whole time, not getting to eat what I wanted. The meal that I ordered was different, and so I got something different that I didn't want. It was still good, and I just was wanting to get off the plane.
Fair. It's a long trip.
Yeah.
It's a long trip.
It's a long trip.
No, I'm joking. Of course, I missed you last night, but I did get to watch all my sports, which you always watch sports too, so I'm not trying to put you out there. Guys, the Knicks. The freaking Knicks. Honestly, the hardest part about you not being there, you were on the plane during the game. You were quite literally a quarter behind. I couldn't believe it. Behind. I was like, did you just say that? And she was like, there's 3 minutes left in the third. I was like, I can't. I then proceeded to text like 8 other people. I needed to have, friends. I needed to have people to talk to.
It was on massive tape delay.
It was so good. Shout out to the Knicks. I mean, you could go down the list. They all made clutch plays. We love Mikal, so shout out to our guy Mikal. Was it the magic of Spike Lee's hat? Spike Lee's Met Gala hat. Did that bring them some luck?
Probably.
Is that all it did?
That thing was wild.
I loved it.
That thing's just crazy.
I was like, we're going to win. We're going to win. Zero doubt. I actually I didn't tell you this yet. I'm watching the Knick game. As you know, I do love a FaceTime with my nieces. So we had a little group call going. We were watching the game together.
Oh,
kind of. Zoe's paying attention. Alex, who knows what she's doing on there. Flying
she's
some
not paying
spaceship.
Attention.
She's always looking like she's flying some spaceship. The way she is maneuvering and just locked in. But somehow,
it's like if you want to see the full capacity of an iPad, watch Alex work the iPad. It's full and like unfettered potential.
And she won't share her screen. I'm like, share your screen right now. I need to see what you're doing. No. Just straight up no. But last night, I forgot to tell you this. So last night, somehow game winners came up. Somehow national championship games came up. And, they obviously know like who we both are in terms of sports and what we've done, but they don't really get it. It actually reminded me of when Abby last week was talking about how kids, like when you're raising kids, they don't give a shit what you've done. They don't care about your accolades. They have no idea. And my nieces are the same. They're constantly asking me questions like, so do you know Paige Bueckers? And I'm like, what do you think this is? You should be asking, does Paige Bueckers know us?
Yes, we know that.
Like,
we know everyone. Not everyone.
My favorite one is,
we know people.
My favorite one is, do you know all the WNBA players? What do you mean? Yes. And then they don't believe me.
Literally, yes.
Obviously, I play right into it. So last night, all of these different topics came up. And we got into a little bit of a YouTube rabbit hole in a shared screen scenario where I was sharing my screen. Ooh. And they asked me to show them like all my game winners and all my like national championship games. Now the footage is a little weird, a little grainy at times, but I got to go down memory lane. And it was crazy because they were living these games like they just happened. It was like my senior year national championship game. I'm hugging Coach Ariema with tears in my eyes. My senior year has just ended. And I hear Alex go, let's go. And Zoe is like, oh, that's so amazing. Wait, this is the NCAA finals? I'm like, yeah, bitch, it's the NCAA finals. What do you mean?
They are years old when they just found out who Sue Bird was?
Basically. It's like they knew, but they didn't know.
They didn't know.
I was like, oh, do you guys want to see an even better one? I didn't even play well that game. You want to see an even better one? And so I just started giving them like the greatest hits.
What do you know about Mass Sue? What do you know about Mass Sue?
Well, they know now. That was the next one I pulled up. They had to see masks too. So anyways, when you get back.
Oh, wow.
When you get back, I'm going to be like, oh, do you know Megan has do you know what Olympico is? And we're pulling up the clips. Honestly, my night was amazing. I missed you dearly, of course. But I had a great night. The Knicks won. My nieces think I'm the most amazing thing ever now. And life is good. And you had a really long flight. I'm sorry. How was your... Well, I did wake up to a text. You had landed well after I had fallen asleep. I did wake up to a text saying, forgot my keys in my other bag. Would you like to tell everyone that story?
You guys, I hate to admit this, but this is a very classic Megan move. I have to create certainty and routine around keys and wallets and stuff like this, because otherwise it's just so haphazard, and particularly around my travel stuff. Part of it is just I've traveled so much. We travel so much for so long. It's all the shit stays in the backpack. I have my backpack, my passport, my chargers, my lip stuff, my keys to both apartments, my journal, the randomest, my cold sore medicine. Yes, I get cold sores. It's unfortunate. I have my
that was a big announcement.
Vaseclovir.
That was a big personal announcement
right
there.
I do. I have my Vaseclovir in my backpack at all
Only
times.
Someone who gets cold sores can pronounce that.
Literally, you have no idea. So I have all my stuff in my backpack. And this time I'm I'm going for a short trip. I'm going to carry on. Fine.
I'm going to take a tote.
I don't want to bring my whole backpack. It's too much. But that wasn't even really the reason. I got a cute new Daniel Kallmeyer, shout out to the homie, suede tote, a little bucket tote, open at the top. It was not super functional for travel. I had to put my headphones in there, which are big ones. And then I had to put my computer in there. And then I had to put an extra sweater. It was just stuff was falling out all over the place. I was I almost forgot my passport even. Yeah. And then thank God I didn't, because I finally, this is a whole other tangent to my travel day. I have put off and procrastinated to a criminal level getting global entry for the last every year of my life.
We talked about it.
It took me all of 6 minutes to get it. It is at the terminal 3 floors down from where I've checked in at JFK umpteen times. And it was so fast. I'm already approved. So you will not see me waiting in the customs line. Anyways, so I was a little okay, do I have my wallet? Do I have my chapstick? Do I have my whatever, my dream water?
By the way, when you asked about your passport, when you were oh, do I need my passport? I thought you were talking about the whole real ID thing that kicks in now.
I was.
Oh, you were?
I was.
So it didn't even occur to you
about my global entry.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. So
well, at least you're on top of one thing, the real ID.
Yeah. And I'm just also, what is that? And that's annoying.
It's like a hologram or something. I don't even know. I actually have no idea. I just know we got to get new licenses and stuff.
Anyways, we land in Seattle. I go to get, my stuff together in my adorable tote. And the second I look, in the little thing, I wasn't even reaching for the keys.
Where's the jingle?
I wasn't even reaching for the keys. I have my New York keys in there. It was such a movement that I had done so many times that it's like a checklist of your head, in your head. I'm I need to order the Uber. I need to get my motherfucking keys are in my other backpack.
Tough.
So obviously that was a problem, but our best friends live literally around the corner. So I feel I just had a nice little Airbnb stay. The room downstairs is so cold. The sheets are new. The coffee was made. We had a lovely morning and disaster averted. Well, I drink my coffee black. Okay. So I didn't get involved in that. I don't think my stomach could survive a whipping cream in my coffee, but
that's a whole other conversation we'll have to get to at another point.
Maybe I'll try it at some point. Anyways, I had a great night. I obviously murdered the snack box when it came around, the Delta snack box. I was munching. I was, 5 hours behind on the New York Knicks game, but wow.
What'd you get?
What a finish. I got the potato chips and those little shortbread chocolate things.
I know, they're so good. The shortbread chocolate things are crack.
I held off on the gummy
They're
bears.
So good. The gummy bears are fine.
They're fine. I usually just get them because I
do like
can't
the
resist.
Delta
I don't
cookie.
even know if I like them.
The Biscoffs. I was going to say biscotti. The Biscoff.
You always get a Biscoff, yeah.
Come on. You're lying if you say you don't like that. That's a lie. You're lying.
Yeah.
No way.
No, they're great. So that was my travel day. It was a whole thing, you guys. It's just sometimes I just
you lived like 8 lives
myself.
and I was just sleeping.
I know.
I did wake up in the middle of the night because I did want to watch the Nuggets game, the Nuggets OKC game. I fell asleep while watching it. I woke up right as Chet Holmgren was missing a free throw, and then the Nets, and then the Nuggets get the ball, race down the court, Aaron Gordon for 3, they win. I couldn't believe it. I literally peeled my eyes open just to see that moment and fell right back asleep. So I witnessed
I love that for you.
2 games of greatness last night.
You really
Road
did
teams took over.
Yeah. Sue, you had a big announcement this week.
I did.
Sue Sue is starting her very own podcast, Bird's Eye View.
See ya.
Honestly.
No, I'm joking.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Well, okay. A number of months ago, as this was being planned out, I was like, yeah, that's a great idea. Like, you should totally do that. Like,
never.
What does this mean for me?
I would never.
In my head, I was like, what does this mean for me? No, I'm kidding. Yes, it's called Bird's Eye View. Sorry, elite name. To be honest, you guys, Sue's been doing this podcast for 8.5 years. It's just been to an audience of 1.
You.
And I'm smashing subscribe. I'm liking everything.
You really have a choice.
I'm commenting.
Those 8.5 years, you didn't have a choice.
I'm the only fan, but I'm also the number 1 fan, and it's my favorite podcast. But I am excited that you will now get to share it with others. It's basically an experience of being on the inside of Sue's basketball brain during games. Like, it's amazing. You're not going to be like live streaming, but it's a basketball specific. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're right.
I guess this is a question statement like I like to make. It's a basketball specific deep dive podcast where we're going to get into Sue's basketball brain. You guys, you want to be in there.
No, I think you nailed it.
It's so good.
I think you nailed it. I started noticing as we were doing our basketball combos here, which we're still going to do. We're still going to get in there because honestly, the world needs your opinion too.
Well, yeah.
The world needs Megan Rapinoe's basketball brain.
Nobody asked for less of my basketball opinion. Okay. But we need more of yours.
Yeah, no, I noticed I wanted to just do some deeper dives, get some guests on, some players, have conversations about basketball, that kind of a thing. So I'm really excited. It was announced a couple of days ago, and I'm looking forward to it. May 16th. Follow, subscribe, all the things. The
amount of times I have seen this on the couch. Okay, just look. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. Here's the key. Oh. There's a person here. There's a person, and then she'll be like, just bear with me. I know.
It's a lot of lines.
And it's like, this person comes up, and this person, and it's just like, now it's actually going to be in a graphic, and it's going to be amazing, and it's so great. So
we'll see if we'll get to
I'm so happy for you.
The drawing
of
the plays,
be awesome.
But I am excited.
You better get to the drawing of the plays. It's going to be awesome.
It's a podcast.
Anyways, Bird's Eye View, wherever you get your podcasts, and on YouTube.
You're hired.
All right, everybody. Time for the rest of the pod. I'm Megan Rapinoe.
And I'm Sue Bird. This is A Touch More. Let's get into it.
All right, the check-in, folks. WNBA preseason is officially underway. All of our fave girls and gays are officially back. Paige made her debut against the Aces. They lost handedly, but it was very exciting to see Paige play. There was some international play as Brazil is stateside. They played the Fever, played the Sky. Sue, what's your favorite part of the opening weekend?
Honestly, my favorite part was all of the preseason games that took place on college campuses. You had Indiana played at Iowa. You had Chicago playing at LSU. You had Dallas and Vegas playing at Notre Dame, where we all saw Hannah Hidalgo and Olivia Miles have a little bit of a confrontation. I would just like to say
Hannah brought the finger gun. Hannah brought the finger gun out.
TCU and Notre Dame do not play a game. They need to schedule that game as soon as possible. as soon as possible. Everybody wants
a home and away.
Please.
A home
Please.
and away.
Are you a lip reader?
I could be. I want to be.
What'd you see? Are you or are you not?
I saw
you just
a
saw
lot
the
of
finger
this.
gun.
I saw you're getting it twisted. I saw backing up. I don't know what I saw because I'm not a rip leader. I'm not a rip leader, so I don't know what I saw.
That. No one needs you leading any rips.
I am actually a rip leader. I'm a rip leader, so I don't know what I saw.
Okay.
I want more of it, though. I need to know exactly what happened.
Well,
I need to know what was said.
We'll likely never know.
We're never going to find out. But honestly, I loved it. I love that they were doing it just like in the tunnel, but like not in the tunnel. In the tunnel area where all the fans are. And it was great. Another thing I loved, about the college thing.
I know you want to talk about that. Yeah, go ahead.
There is nothing I love more than women's sports. Just doing different shit than men's sports, but like doing things that just make so much sense for us. Like if a men's team played at a college, like an NBA team played at a college for preseason, it just like wouldn't make sense. It's just like, that's not a smash hit. This is brilliant. I think they should do this all the time. They should continue to do this. They should like make a thing about it. It's so much fun. I loved it so much. So I just love women's sports because we're just better and cooler and more fun and more interesting.
And that's the pod. I think
creative.
we just end on that.
And that's us. And that's us.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Anyways,
I agree. It did make me feel like, where has this been? It's happened a couple times. I'm actually drawing a blank on people being able to go back to their alma mater, though. So anyways, I can't pull it. But yeah, it was amazing. I mean, all the fans got to show out. Everybody got to enjoy. Yes, A'ja Wilson. I knew it happened before.
Yeah.
So they were on to something last year, and now obviously they're adding to it, which is great.
Really smart.
A big part, listen, a huge hurdle in WNBA history in terms of popularity and kind of building that has been this like lack of connection between the college fan base and the WNBA fan base. So it's a great way to get that going. I thought there's another one coming up. What? I see you want to say something.
Well, I was going to say, I also think it's a great opportunity to educate all of these college fans on the gap between college and the pros and how great these players are. So seeing the very best in action is going to help them be a more educated fan moving forward and take all their fandom from college sports and map it onto the W. So that's what I'll say there.
Exactly. The Liberty play at the University of Oregon on May 12th. So you guys can check that out. Sabrina will be making her homecoming. She actually had a really, I thought, interesting quote. She said, I never really got to say goodbye to the University of Oregon because of everything that happened in 2020. Obviously, that was during the pandemic. College season got canceled, so she never got, I don't even think she got a senior night. I don't think she got any of those goodbyes. So she talked about saying, she said, I might get emotional just knowing I finally get to say goodbye to that chapter of my life and a little bit of closure that I never got. So I thought that was pretty cool. So you can check that out.
She's going to have a sick pair of Oregon PEs on.
I hope so.
I guess they're not really PEs if it's her shoe.
It's still, well, yeah. I think it actually is. I think if you don't sell it, it might still be considered not part of like the signature line. Okay. I'm not really sure. So it'd have to be like special and different. But I think they sell the Oregon colorway. So it's part of her signature line. Details. Yeah. We're in the weeds. Okay. Paige's debut. You brought it up already. I thought she did great. She actually played like super efficiently. You can just tell. And this is the theme of preseason all the time. You can tell which teams are starting from scratch. Dallas. They're kind of like figuring themselves out. It's going to be roles. It's going to be who goes where when. You could see all of that. So you have, on one side, a team like Dallas starting from scratch, I should say. And then the other side, you had Vegas, who looked great. Individually, they looked great. As a team, you can see they're just kind of picking up where they left off for all these years. But I thought Paige was good. She was good. It wasn't like the greatest performance I've ever seen. And, she's definitely going to see things she needs to work on. Obviously, the pace. We talked about this last week. She already talked about the screens. So the size, the strength, the pace, it's all things she's going to have to adjust to. We already knew that. The Fever, as you mentioned, took on Brazil back in Iowa. Caitlyn's logo shot. I mean, she outdid she logoed the logo. Now they got to put a new logo down.
You guys, I think one of the things I love about Caitlyn the most is her understanding and like willingness to like meet the moment and like do the thing that she knows everyone wants her to do.
She knows what the people
She broke the record
want.
making that shot to begin with. There's just like a certain star quality and like star power there. But it takes you being confident enough, willing enough to be like, oh no. I know what you want. Come here. I'm going to give it to you. I loved it so much. I just think it's great. I love when athletes like have that, like bring the cameras right over here.
Well,
it's so fun.
I mean, I couldn't agree more. She knows it. And so does everybody else. The ratings for this game were 1.28 million. The game was on ESPN. It peaked at 1.6 and she only played like 18 minutes. Wow. So the Caitlyn Clark effect is back. Not seeing her play since the fall. I'm sure everybody was hype. I mean, we tuned in.
Yeah.
Everybody was hype. So that was really great to see. And then, of course, there was an adorable moment where basically all the Brazilian players were asking for her autograph and trying to take pictures. There's also a really cute moment where I think in their shoot around, they tried to hit a shot from that logo. So it was adorable too. Yeah.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. So it's good to see her back in action. The Fever, that's their second preseason game. They got a lot of talent. It's like everybody. It's about piecing it together. Now, where they have a leg up on, a team like Dallas, where we say starting from scratch, is they have a lot of vets. So you're bringing in DeWanna Bonner, Natasha Howard. I think Sophie Cunningham has already made her presence felt. So it'll be interesting to see how they move along. There's more preseason games. Once this pod comes out, there'll be a couple more played. Reminder, if the player you love doesn't get in till the third or fourth quarter, it's not a good sign. This is like the unwritten rule of the preseason. If you don't get in till late, it's a tough spot. You're in a tough spot. If you get in the first half, it doesn't necessarily have meaning, but it's better. You'd rather be that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not great.
Not great. Vegas has its way too early 2025 MVP odds. We've got Asia Wilson at a plus 200. Caitlyn Clark at a plus 235, coming in second. Coming in third at a plus 475 is Scorched Earth herself, Napheesa Collier. Megan, you had a reaction to this. What are you thinking?
She's going to be pissed. She's going to be pissed. I don't know what exactly the numbers mean, but I do know that hers is 200 points more than the other two who seem pretty close together. And Napheesa Collier's going to be pissed. She just had like a dominant, unrivaled season. She had an unbelievable season last year. She is on the rise, and I just feel like she's still getting a little bit overlooked. If I'm her also, which I feel like she's doing this, and I feel like the Minnesota Lynx are doing this, like, don't even take too big of a breath or too small of a breath or look 1 inch. It's just like, whatever it is, I'm taking offense to it. That's, I feel like their whole vibe
on the
this year
tour.
is, I don't care what you're doing, I'm taking offense to it. So definitely she's going to see this and be like, okay.
Do you think you looking back on your career, do you think you've played better in that headspace? Or, I mean, I don't even know if it's like worse, or better in another headspace might be the way to frame it. Like, what's the best headspace? Like, people think you're good and you're like, oh God, I got to prove them right. Or people are talking shit and you're like, I got to prove them wrong.
Definitely more the latter, like a little chip on my shoulder, but I definitely do not play great in like an overly frustrated, like overly like, I'm going to show my haters wrong. So it can definitely tip for me, but I like a little bit of hold my beer.
Okay. So when people are speaking nicely about you, you like that better.
Well,
you like both.
Yeah, I mean,
you're trying to create a scenario,
like
but you got to pick one. Don't do that.
Okay.
You're like one of those people when you're like, would you rather do this or this? And you're like, well, Stipulation.
No, definitely the like, are they going to be able to do it? And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, same.
Like when before you say anything. When before you say anything, I'm like, okay.
Please doubt me. I prefer.
Okay. Yep. On it.
Just curious.
Right on top of that, Rose.
Right on top of that, Rose. Still hasn't seen the movie.
Haven't seen the movie. Yeah, haven't seen the movie.
Don't even know who Rose is.
Know the quote. Know the quote and know the context.
What's Rose's job?
Rose's job is the assistant to the manager. Ish.
That is
kind of.
Are you watching The Office?
Yeah, I'm mashing. I'm doing a mashup. Okay. We hate to have to bring this up, but a really sad part of preseason has been that the ACLs have not been kind. Georgia Amore, this was so sad for a rookie. That's just devastating. And then my very own sister, the Storm, have lost Katie Lou Samuelson and Jordan Horston earlier on for the season
and
with their
Mule.
ACLs
you want to take it
torn.
Back?
And Nika Mule. This is the
Storm got
the bug
hit.
has gotten to Seattle. Yeah, the Storm got hit bad. Sue, how are you feeling about this for the impact
I'll get
of
to the
Seattle?
Storm.
We just wish everybody like fast and speedy and good vibes for healing.
I'll get to the Storm in a second. The Georgia Amore ACL, I mean, you already said it. Devastating.
Sad.
I was sad. I was so sad. There's really it's like I was so sad. I was so excited to see her play in the WNBA. I was so excited to see her with the Mystics. They showed in their first preseason game. They got a little something. They got a good little mix with Brittany Sykes and Steph Dolson, and then they've got this young crop, all of these draft picks. Sonia Citrone played great. It's like, dang, the whole time watching that preseason game, I was just like, Georgia, where's Georgia? Yeah. So I feel so bad for her. She's going to be fine. It's so early in her career. It's going to be a blip.
Totally.
In 15 years, she's going to look back and be like, oh, a blip in my life. I barely remember it. But right now, it just feels so sad. Moving on to the Storm. I mean, dang. That's 3 ACLs on 3, what would have been like 3 roster players. Obviously, for Nika and Jordan, it's a little different. They tore their ACLs, got hurt in the offseason, so their contracts are likely suspended. But for Katie Lou, I haven't been in Seattle to watch, but I heard she was having a great camp. What she was going to bring to the Storm, which she actually, in some way, shape, or form, kind of sort of was like a replacement for Jordan, right? Like that style, that spot. She came in after that injury or was signed after that injury. So that would have given the Storm more versatility, more size, and then vet leadership. So they still have it with AC. They still have it with Gabby, 2 players that can play both the 3 and the 4. Like I said, vet leadership, versatility. But it just would have given us another player. And I think the combination really would have just ultimately allowed for Malunga to have more time to like adjust. It would have taken less, it would have taken some pressure off of her to like come in. I still don't think there's a ton of pressure, but it just would have given her more time. So really sad. Obviously, we love Katie Lou. I'm sure we'll see her when we get, well, you're in Seattle now. You can go say hi. But I'm sure we'll see her throughout the course of the season taking care of that knee. The only other thing that I thought of was this is definitely going to bring up some CBA conversations because Katie Lou, even though not on a guaranteed contract, was also not on a training camp contract. So getting hurt in training camp means the Storm have to honor her spot and her money, I believe. So that means the Storm is only going to have 10 this season. Financially, they only could fit 11. Katie Lou is now that 11th spot. They can only carry 10. And, it's just it is what it is. This has happened to teams before. It's happened so many times I can't even count. But I'm sure my next thought was, oh, this is definitely going to come up as part of like the CBA
Wait,
negotiations.
There's no forgiveness? Like you have
Only
to pay
if you-
Katie Lou, obviously, but
no.
you can't add the spot?
Only if you drop down, I think, past 9 players, do you get the injury waiver thing.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
And more games too with less players.
Yeah, it's tough. It is tough. But yeah, so I'm sure that'll be talked about on the owner side, on the player side, on all the sides.
Yeah.
So I guess that,
no,
sometimes
it doesn't seem to benefit anyone.
No, not at all. But this does take us to a, quote, groundbreaking, if we want to call it that, FIFA-funded study that just came out that is looking at ACL tears and hormones. Okay, so this is how this article starts out. Quote, a groundbreaking, I can't get over that word. You'll find out in a second. A groundbreaking FIFA-funded study at Kingston University will investigate whether hormonal fluctuations during menstrual cycles could be contributing to an alarming rise in career-threatening knee injuries in women's soccer. Okay, so specific to women's soccer, but as we can see, it's happening everywhere. Okay, the thing I can't get over is when I tore my ACL in 1998, it was December of 98, so it was almost 99. But in 1998, nonetheless, the very first question the doctor asked me when I saw the surgeon, are you on your period? Literally the first question, not does it hurt? What does it feel like? Does it hurt when I do this? Are you on your period? Like they've known there might be a connection here. So the thing that, okay, it's wonderful they're doing the research. I'm never going to bag that. But I'm just like, where has this research been? We've known this. Why has this been pushed to the side or just talked about but not researched? So I feel very frustrated by that. Again, I love that we have the studies, but where has it been? It's 2025. I feel like we should be at that point where there's been, we should have known for 15 years all the ways in which you can attempt to prevent something like this. Because obviously there's some uncontrollables. There's no way to completely prevent an ACL tear, especially a non-contact one. But come on. That was frustrating. But yeah, Megan, what do you hope they do with this information?
Well, I mean, just like in classic women's health form, we already know, and now we're studying it because we have like 1 bajillion years of our entire existence of anecdotal evidence. Then everybody's like, this is basically settled without the white paper research. But like, okay, great. 20 years later, I hope that they're studying what we can do about it and not, is there a link between hormonal changes and your period and ACL tears? I've had not 1, 2, but 3 ACL tears. All 3 have been on my period.
Really?
It's just like, yes.
Oh, interesting.
The evidence is overwhelming. And it's just like this thing that everybody knows. So what I hope is it's not like, 5 years later, like when the research is done, they're going to be like, hey, everybody, you know what we found out? There's a link between your period and blah, blah, blah. So it's like, we already know that. I hope they're studying like what we can do about it or how we can understand it better. All this says to me is like, okay, well then how much more resourcing are we going to allocate to women's teams and to women's leagues and to like the, research around training and diet and nutrition and whatever to like help resource these athletes better? Because we have done over the years, whether it's just like tracking your period or whatever, all of this like, tracking and information, blah, 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 only to be like,
hey, this happens.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've been on my period in every single World Cup. I've been at either once or twice. You hope you get it in the middle and it doesn't bookend your fucking World Cup. Otherwise, you have your period twice during the World Championship.
Isn't that funny?
But it's like,
we think the same thing about the Olympics.
You're not taking days off generally. Yeah, it's like you're not, unless you have, like an endometriosis or you're having like a horrific thing. Like you're not taking practice off. You're not taking a game off. Like, great. We don't have white shorts anymore. Like, okay. So I hope that there's like, are we traveling better? Are we taking this into the congestion in the calendar that we've talked about, like the smashing of the games in? I think we've seen it on both men's and listen, your body can only do what it can do. So on both the men's and the women's side, having too many games in the calendar at the, in soccer, players have talked about it for years now. It's causing a lot of injuries. There's like more ACL injuries on the men's side as well. But certainly on the women's side, if we're already having to deal with, this sort of link between your period and higher rates of injury, well, yeah, if you smash 2, 3, 4 more games in during the month, you're probably going to have more issues happening. So anyways, I just hope that there's more resource and energy and effort and like funding put towards how we accommodate for this in women's sports and not just like spending all this money to tell us what we already freaking know.
Well said. Well said.
That's what I'm hoping. But yeah, in classic FIFA form, they're like, we're going to do this thing 19 decades too late. Thanks.
Did you just think about 1998 and you landed on 19 decades ago? Is that what just happened?
Know what
you couldn't do the math?
On. Sometimes
it was like 19 decades ago.
You know, a long time. Women have been having periods for a long time.
That's true too. And now it's time for even more time with Megan. We call this extra time with Megan. Megan, who do you have some extra time for today?
I have a lot of extra time for the not quite twins, but honorary twins, Alyssa and Giselle Thompson, on their first basically pro goal together. Alyssa assisting Giselle, which is kind of funny because Giselle's a defender, but she was all the way up in that box. It just warmed my whole entire heart. I love them both so much. I obviously played with Alyssa more in the 2023 World Cup. She was the youngest player on the team and honestly just loved her. And then I've got to know Giselle a little bit. It's just so cool to like see this. I mean, I'm a twin, obviously. So thinking about all the times that Rachel and I played together and we never got to play professionally together, I would have loved that so much. Let's take a look at the clip. It was just like the cutest thing you've ever seen.
Drops in over the top, and Thompson goes to work again. Giselle Thompson in the middle, touches it home! Oh, it's the Thompsons!
It was adorable.
Oh, just so cute. So cute. Their parents must have just melted completely and immediately into a puddle. Like just dead, done, dusted, put them in the grave. They're done.
All I saw was so much speed. Holy crap. It's two
wild.
of them.
It's wild. Yeah, Giselle came out of nowhere. Maybe she was playing forward. I don't know.
No.
Honestly, wow. Alyssa's so fast. That was an amazing ball, too. I think that was Alana Kennedy just getting that ball over. But, you know, I love a big, long diag. Oh, my gosh. That was honestly the best part of the clip for me, but we're talking about Giselle and Alyssa. It was just, like, so cute. So that's what I had a little extra time for.
Their reactions
so cute. You love to see it. What a gene pool lottery smash for those two, being so good. So anyways, loved it. That's what I had extra time for. And now we can move into a very special edition of the Fit Check.
Have you just been waiting the whole pod for this?
Basically, yeah. I was so excited for this year's Met Gala theme. Mm-hmm. I thought it was like going to be so fun and so cool and so interesting to see what people do with it. The lady on the plane had her iPad up across the aisle and one up, and she like had the whole thing live streaming. And so I was like getting it all online, and like all the pictures are coming out so soon, and I was able to kind of like keep my eye over there. For those of you who don't know, the theme of this year's Met Gala was super fine tailoring Black style. Obviously a huge nod to the influence of Black culture and style and dandyism and tailoring to just like fashion writ large. It was awesome. It did not disappoint.
And I'm like, well, tell us. What did you think?
It served.
Get to it.
Well, I just like, where do you even start? Okay, so many women in suits, so many women in suit variations, ties, hats, big jackets, big capes, big like skirts or pants or bows or whatever. I just thought it was a really cool, fun. I think it allowed people to be really like playful, and people just really showed out. Mostly female athletes. There was a ton of female athletes in attendance. Angel Reese, Brianna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, Jonquel Jones, Simone Biles, Serena Williams, Venus Williams, Gabby Thomas, Carrie Richardson, Flau'jae, Claire Wu Tsai. Am I missing anybody? I don't think so. It was amazing.
It was.
So I think, what did you think?
My favorite part, well, first of all, the suiting for the women, because that's right up my alley. So it's finally a Met Gala I feel like I would have thrived in. I don't know about these
really
past ones.
Yeah.
But the suiting was amazing. We can definitely get into specific outfits, but I really was amazed by everyone's hair. I thought the hair this year was really like a big part of the entire outfit itself. You know, I just feel like that played like a big role. I loved not just women, men's hairstyles as well. Like there were some finger wave situations. A lot of women had, I'm sure there's a name for this, I don't know it, had like the curl in their forehead. I just thought it played like a big role, and I don't remember feeling that way. It probably existed. I just don't remember feeling it in the way that I did this year. So that was really fun. And then, I mean, we're going to get to John Cole Jones's hair because that was just outstanding. That blew me away.
No notes.
I loved it.
Zero notes.
I loved it.
Croc embossed leather jacket, the glasses, the brooch, the hair. Jonquil absolutely smashed it.
So how do you want to do this? Do you want to just give us your faves?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right.
I do.
The mic is yours.
Sir Lewis Hamilton, zero notes. Absolutely sensational. He's so beautiful. He was one of the co-chairs. Incredible. Diana Ross. Are you fucking serious?
God. I just kept thinking like she's been to so many of these and she's still killing it. She must just be like, children, this is how you do it.
Her train, the whole thing, it was like extravagant.
Tracy looked amazing
it's
too.
Diana Ross.
I know.
I was going to say her daughter,
Tracy
Ellis
Ross.
Ross. My style icon. I love Tracy so much. So fun. She was in custom Marc Jacobs. So fun, so playful. She had just like this big, like red and pink. Big,
she brought color.
Like,
there actually wasn't a lot of color. Not a lot of people wore a ton of color.
Yeah.
A lot of the suiting
like
was like black, white. Yeah.
Yeah, like a bright, like playful, fun. Tracy, for me, never misses.
Never.
She's amazing. We love you, Trace. Doechii, super gay, shorts.
Wait.
The LV, it was amazing.
Did you see how she went from the hotel to the car? I saw like a GIF meme situation. It was like me trying to leave work for happy hour.
That's exactly.
For those that didn't see, check it out. But she got basically like rolled out.
Yeah.
Like I'm assuming it was like a coat rack that had like something built around it, so she was totally hidden.
Who knows?
It was like in a box.
Yeah.
She got like rolled out of a box
rack
basically.
Or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it was completely over the top and unnecessary, which is exactly why she did it. Which was why it was perfect. Style icon, loved it, and she wore shorts.
I know,
perfect.
So good.
Tessa Thompson. Amazing. She had this like big old structured like buttons down. It was a suit. It was a dress. It was a whole thing. Amazing. I loved it. Yara Shahidi with the fur coat. Oof. Loved that whole situation. Willie Chavarria or Chavaria. I'm not sure exactly how you pronounce it. Wow.
Yeah.
So good. Brought like so much Mexican culture
like the chain
to this like dandyism. Oh,
the chain he
so
had
good.
on. Oof.
The tie and the whole thing. He's just amazing. Janelle Monáe, no notes.
I thought that was cool.
A box.
Yeah, it was a box.
And then inside the box was her
the
outfit with like her in the box outfit, but like not in a box form.
But it was like the same.
Incredible.
Yeah.
With the eye.
The box and the outfit were
it
the
was
same. It was great. Yeah, with the eye.
Literally
like
amazing. I mean, she came out in a box. I'm like, this is so good. I loved Hunter Schafer. Boom, the hat with like, it was pretty simple, but like great tailoring. And the hat was amazing. So loved that. Forgive me if I pronounce this wrong. Kahabi Lame. It's this guy, like the internet guy that goes like that.
Yeah.
That guy?
Yes.
For everyone on YouTube, I'm doing or for everyone not on YouTube, I'm doing
you're doing it really well. Like you could just do it like this.
You could just do it like this. He had like brooches and stuff all over. I thought he looked amazing, kind of like a flowy number. Incredible. Rihanna's pregnant again. Rihanna is 6 months pregnant again for the 5th year in a row. Like, I don't know how this is happening. Why don't we know she's pregnant before? Where is she? We're never getting music again, ever. Ever. She looks great, but I'm also like, why are you popping out fully pregnant? How is this happening?
I think you have to go ask ASAP. Do you want to talk about his
where's
fit?
she hiding? Where's she hiding where she's never seen for 6 months and then all of a sudden she's like, oh, by the way, my due date is in 2 months, 3 months, whatever. Zendaya never misses.
So that's what I would have worn.
Incredible.
It's like if I was going, that would have been like my vision board. She looked great.
Hat?
Yes, that would have been mine. And that was
the silhouette. The silhouette was giving
Bianca.
a little bit of your green suit that you wore to your retirement.
Oh, so I was on her vision board, is what you're saying?
That is what it feels like to me. Loved it. Lupita, incredible. The little blue hat just sitting on top, the light blue, the cape. Ugh, beautiful. Anyone that was wearing Wales Bonner, Grace Wales Bonner, genius, incredible. Mm-hmm. That's what Lewis Hamilton was wearing. Mm-hmm. It's just so classy and so unique and like amazing. So anyone in that, Stewie, loved the long coat, loved the hat, loved the hair down on the forehead, loved the whole like vibe of it. I thought Stewie looked great.
Those like sheer gloves on.
Totally. Loved it. I love JJ's outfit so much. The hair was just sensational. It made it into like the New York Times, like the best of. It was like the best, tailoring, the best. Mm-hmm. Oh, I don't know exactly what it was, but like fun little things. JJ, no notes, amazing. Angel Reese, incredible.
I think Angel looked absolutely stunning. I think she looks great. I feel like she took La Roche's advice, and it was more clothes, and it was better. She looked so good.
Just sexy and like elegant,
sophisticated,
and, like, elevated. Mm-hmm. Oh, it looked amazing.
She looks
great. Alicia Keys and Swizz Beatz. That's it. I don't even have anything else to say. Unbelievable. And Stefon Diggs. I loved the huge fur and I loved the red shoes and I love Stefon Diggs' style and it was great. And I'm sure there's others that I'm missing, but
I do want to add one, Tiana Taylor. I thought her vibe was
how did I miss
so
it?
on point. It was like the pimp kind of situation happening, like a nod to that. I loved it. She looked
It was
great.
also one of the first ones that came out.
Yeah.
I don't know if she was like
I think
first
she
on
was
the runway
like,
or something.
She was interviewing people on the carpet. So I'm sure there was something happening.
But to be first out
and look like that,
be one of the best, like she first out popped
setting
out.
The tone.
It just the whole like I feel like what mattered to this too is, and I think this is part of the black styling and dandyism and like the tailoring and all of it is like the swag you're bringing with it. Obviously, like that is such a part of black culture and like this sort of like styling. And so I feel like people who really like embodied that looked better.
Yeah. I mean, speaking
and
of
I liked
swag.
that. It like made that happen. That was sort of like part of the assignment.
Yeah.
And I loved that.
So speaking of swag, I do think pretty much all the athletes walk on that carpet like that. And I do want to give a shout to Courtney Mays, who styled, again, speaking of swag, she styled Stewie, Sabrina, who looked amazing as well, Jonquil Jones, and Clara Wusai. So shout out to Courtney. We all know. So it's actually Courtney who did my green suit. So that's really where Zendaya got it from, apparently. So Courtney's just killing
that's
it.
really what it is. Yeah, Clara looked amazing too. Clara popped out probably with her own emeralds. She was
not on
She
loan.
was like, did you happen to catch at all when it was like this famous Indian wedding? It's like the richest people in India. They got married. They did this whole thing. And they have like the craziest emerald. Clara Wusai said, hold my beer. I'm popping out with my emeralds too. She looked absolutely amazing.
And we have had Courtney Mays on our show. So if you guys want to take a listen, you can hear her talk about all things style. So check it out. So listen, speaking of the New York Liberty, we are excited to announce our next live show will be in New York, directly following the Liberty's home opener on May 17th, featuring special guest Brianna Stewart. You can find all the info on tickets in our show notes.
Let's go.
Off to the intersection. So for today's intersection, we're going to talk about something that Carly Lloyd said as she was inducted into the National Soccer Hall of Fame.
Congrats, by the way, Carly. First ballot inductee. Very well deserved.
Yes, congratulations, Carly. Amazing. In talking about her time with the U.S. Women's National Team, she said, quote, I wasn't there to make friends or follow the crowd. I was there to push myself to the very top while helping my team win championships. That drive often meant keeping people at a distance. I avoided unnecessary drama. I rarely showed weakness, and vulnerability wasn't something I allowed myself to express. I wouldn't say I have regrets, but if there's one thing I do wish, I wish I had let more people understand me over the years. I operated like an emotionless machine. I was intense, and I truly believed that the only way for me to survive in such a cutthroat environment was to be that way. So to my teammates, I want to say this. I'm sorry I wasn't always able to give you all of me. So this actually reminded me of the conversation we had last week in our book club when we interviewed Abby, Glennon, and Amanda about their new book, We Can Do Hard Things. And we're going to get to that in a second. But before we do, I wanted to get your reaction to this like handling, right? Like the handling of the cutthroat environment, as she said. I have to admit, I've said this before publicly, when we first started dating and you were explaining to me just the year that was for a soccer player, like how the year unfolded, all the different camps, and just the ways that you guys had to, oh God, endure. I mean, what was it, 21 roster spots, and you had literally an entire country fighting for these 21 spots, and the difference between being one of the 21 and then literally being player number 22 was like hundreds of thousands of dollars. It was basically the difference between having a career and not, and just the pressure. And then the ways that you have to show up and be in shape and constantly train in order to be in shape, in order to play, in order to get a spot. And then the cycle of competition between all of you is just ever present, and your friends, and you're like living your lives together on the road. I mean, it was so, when you first were teaching me, I couldn't believe it. So that is why I'm most curious what that was like for you and just like how you handled it.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. There was really a very long stretch of time. I mean, honestly, until maybe like 2016, 15, 16, 17, 18, 16, 17, 18, whatever, where like, yeah, the difference was like you're making a living playing soccer, about 25 of us, or you're
not.
like making $30,000 to $70,000 playing in the league. Like
Maybe.
You're not making,
or you're living in a host family's house and you're having to train kids on the side to like make ends meet.
Yeah.
And not that there's anything wrong with that, but man, what a delta.
Yeah.
It was like they were throwing that ball out and just being like, play for your life.
Yeah. No, literally. And the difference really was like you're in every single camp, doing every single practice, and just being the 24th player and not being the 23. You're doing all the same shit. You're doing everything the same except playing. Like,
and then it's just like one person's choice, the coach.
Yeah, exactly. So it was really crazy. And I totally understand the competition part. I mean, honestly, you just prayed to God that the person you clicked with and had a connection with as a friend didn't play your position. And that didn't always happen. I mean, Tobin and Press, two of my best friends while I played, Press and I literally played the same position. Thank God Tobin played on the right. Like, it was just like, my other friends obviously like played, my closest friends played different positions. But even it's just like, for me, I had to have the connection. I needed that. Like I needed to be around other people. I needed to be able to vent. I needed the community, the connection, the like, I needed to show my vulnerability. Like I had to do that. I don't think I would have survived otherwise. Obviously Carly did it, this way. And it sounds like she's maybe asking herself if that was necessary. She was very successful, player of the world, or, player of the year, world player of the year, World Cups, Olympics, all of the things. But as we talked about in the conversation, we got into it with Abby and Glennon. It's just like, it takes a toll. Like you have to pay for all of the things that make you great. And so, being out of it and being able to self-reflect, and it sounds like Carly is self-reflecting, and I just encourage her with everything that I have to like continue to do that and continue to be more vulnerable and really ask herself, those hard questions and get into it because it was nuts. Like I wouldn't change it for the world. Nuts. I loved playing, but it was absolutely nuts. And my teammates kept me Same.
I know the only way.
I know that was my experience.
This is the mindfuck of it all. The only way you're going to win a World Cup is if you have good chemistry. And yet the people you have to have this chemistry with are the ones that you're like absolutely scratching and clawing and fighting against for a roster spot. That to me is where your guys' situation was really tough. But you reminded me of A, something I definitely think about and believe. B, something Abby essentially said last week. And then C, you just said it. And I think we're seeing it. So D, we're seeing it with Carly a little bit. When you retire and you've had success and you look back on the ways in which you did it and you start to question different things, at the very end of all of that, we could have a conversation here. We could do a whole episode on thinking back on our careers and like, what could I have done differently? Did this really serve me? Was this really good? And then at the end, we all go, I wouldn't change it.
Yeah, I wouldn't change it. I loved this quote that Glennon had. She said, I feel very suspicious of the pursuit of greatness. I've never met anyone who was like, yep, I pursued it and got it and I felt great about it. There's something about the pursuit of greatness I don't trust. There's more to be trusted in the pursuit of ordinary. And it's like, honestly, yes, we've said this so many times. We said it, in the book club conversation. It's like, you're on the podium, you get your medal, you've done the thing, and what do you say?
Like, whew, thank God I did that. And then, well, I guess I want to do it again.
I guess I have to do it again. I want to do it again, of course. And then you get one night and then like it's over. Yeah. But again, wouldn't change it for the world. But yeah, it was.
Well, it is just an interesting scenario to be in when the only thing makes it worth it is if you're on the podium. And I mean, I always use my WNBA career. Like when I talk to like younger basketball players or really any athlete, I always use my WNBA career. I'm considered like wildly successful. I played, give or take, 20, 21 years in the WNBA. I've won 4 times and I'm considered wildly successful. Do you know how many, like that's so much losing. That's so many times I didn't hold the trophy up. And that's the tricky part. The only thing that makes it worth it is if you win. And then when you start to think of it that way, you're like, man, we're all screwed up a little bit.
Yeah, it just distorts your sense of self and self-worth and reality. Like, I think if I could tell younger athletes anything now, and I get it, it's hard to do in the moment. You can only do it so much, but like, have an identity and a sense of your self-worth outside of soccer. Have a framework where you can really truly feel successful within the context of not winning every game, not winning every championship. Like it's just, you're never gonna, and it's like, we all know this, you're not gonna win every single game and win every single championship every single year you play, especially if you have a really long career. So like start to think about and have a framework for having self-worth and confidence outside of this totally binary metric of success or failure. Like you'll just be a lot more healthy. And I think people are. I think there's a lot more encouragement and talk around like being your full self in the playing environment and like being able to show who you are, being able to show show what your vulnerabilities are as well as your strengths, and having both of those things be valued. So I think that is changing in the culture of sports, but I just would encourage young athletes to really think about that, at least think about the question and try to onboard that more. Otherwise, like your wins aren't even as good if like the only thing that's going to make you happy,
everything.
Is perfection. It's a perfectionism situation, and then it's just like then you're never happy about anything. So,
I know, I can't.
And you sacrifice your whole self, and then you get to be a retired athlete, hopefully later in your career,
going to therapy.
And like no matter what, it's going to smack you in the teeth. But like, start going to therapy earlier. But like, it's really going to be difficult for you to then have any other framework of self-worth and of confidence and of like who you are in the world if you've never developed that before in your life.
I totally agree with everything you just said, like wholeheartedly. And at the same exact time, I don't know that I have the career that I had if I started going to therapy sooner. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I think maybe the answer is that you have to start so early. It's not some like like 180 change in your life when you're 25 and you start kind of like taking everything you just said, you start taking in. I don't know if it just has to be established so early in someone's life to have that balance so they can both pursue the great and, to use Glennon's words, have a pursuit of ordinary, because everything you describe leans more towards ordinary a little bit in this maybe old framework that I have. Generationally, like I definitely have we didn't talk about mental health. You just grinded.
No.
You had no choice and you were tough because of it. Like this was a badge of honor. I definitely have that embedded. So
I know it's hard.
It's a new
I feel
way.
that too.
I know.
I know it's hard.
I don't know. I can sit here and say if I went to therapy sooner, I don't think I would have like lost a little something. But that's not to say that you still can't be great. It's just got to look different. And I don't know what that looks like for me because I just didn't grow up with it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, true. Anyways, interesting. Brought up a lot of interesting conversation and in this house. For sure.
Yeah. I would definitely raise my kids different. The ones that are currently on ice.
Yeah. The ones that are chilling. We have a very special edition of A Touch More. We're going to talk about the rollout of A'ja Wilson's signature shoe. It's been amazing. Congrats to A'ja again on your signature shoe. Incredible. Just in general, I just love seeing how the brands are now putting their full force behind the best athletes in the world, which are female athletes, and like really getting to storytell and like tell the world who they are through these products. I just think it's like so cool. The A1 is out now, lots of different colors. The whole first campaign is kind of around like the pink shoe. There's some really cool Easter eggs in
run
here.
them down.
Shout out to shout out to M Johnson for like running this down for everyone. But there's some amazing Easter eggs. The cheerleaders in the video, I'm assuming everyone is going to go watch the video if you haven't watched it. It's so good. I'm sure you already have. But the cheerleaders in the video are from Benedict College, which is an HBCU in South Carolina, where A'ja's from. Big T's Barbecue is like a local favorite in South Carolina. Not quite an Easter egg because it's Dawn Staley, but Dawn Staley, obviously, showing up and doing her little jig and being really involved. We obviously know their relationship is super close and they mean so much to each other. Her mom and dad. Oh, I'm not crying, you're crying. It's just like the cutest thing ever. Obviously, like the nursery rhyme, the clap, the like, the rap or the song that goes with it, is just like so cool. The scene with her sitting on the porch with the little girl and the girl is teaching her how to do it. Just randomly directed by Malia Obama.
Yeah, and that's like a second part. That's actually, that's like an addition. The add-on. Yeah.
Yeah, so cool. Absolutely loved it, like so much. The beads, the bobos, and the barrettes specific to the fashion style and the expression of young Black girls for so long. There's a picture of A'ja floating around and she's got the little bobos or things like in her hair. It's so freaking cute. So those are all over. In one, it was like the long beads. I wonder if that's like a little bit of a nod to the Williams sisters. Remember those white beads that they used to have in their hair when they were younger? And it's like spells out A'ja and it's so cool. The church scene, amazing. And her grandparents' photos, it's actually like her like local church. And her grandparents' photos are in there. And specifically a nod to her late grandma, Hattie, in a reaction when she's like leaning back and being like, you know better than that. Definitely A'ja was acting up in church when she was younger. Like you can obviously see it.
She's having herself a good time.
Oh, she's having herself a good time. The little girls in the church are wearing the pearls, obviously, which A'ja always wears. I think my biggest takeaway from this whole thing was like, this is A'ja Wilson. This is who she is. Like, it was so authentic to her. It was so fun. It was like so drenched in all this meaning. I thought that, yeah, it just like her fingerprints are all over it, obviously. And it just like did such a service to like who she is, who she wants to become, her why. She's talked about that a lot. And I just thought the rollout was peach.
Yeah, I really don't have much to add. I thought it was amazing as well. Everything you said. What I will say is it was like, this is A'ja Wilson, right? So this is impact. This is impact on the next generation. This is accomplishment. This is what success is. And when you do it this way, it's a business. It's a business. The business of a woman who is successful in sport and has impact, like, is a business that can be invested in, that can be built. And that's what I really enjoyed about this commercial as well. Just, I feel like it's the start of something, because we've always talked about how it's almost leaned like too much into impact at times, which gave like a charity feel, and maybe not enough into accomplishment. And this had a really good balance that I think can be a starting point. The other thing I want to add is a college teammate of mine, Jessica Moore, who works at Nike now. She started out in the WIN program, Women in Nike, which gives former professional athletes just the opportunity to get into Nike. She worked on this, and she actually shared something on her Instagram story, how she called it like a BTS moment for her. And it said, like, loosely, she's like, when we started filming this piece, I had to step away to cry. Watching magic in real time overwhelmed me, realizing the impact this spot would have on so many girls and women of all ages, how they would see themselves just as I was in this moment. Blessed to have been a part of the journey with so many incredible, talented people. And I think that obviously speaks to what this means, the impact it'll have. But it matters who's in the room. Because of Jessica Moore, and there's other women who have been in this WIN program who work on A'ja's brand. There's other women as well. I just happen to know Jess, because they're in the room. This gets done this way, right? Because they're in the room. Maybe, Malia Obama gets selected. I don't know exactly how it all went down, but it matters, and that's also what's really cool. Just about everything that A'ja's doing.
Yeah, I think this is like seeing it. Even for the very first time, and I've watched it an innumerable amount of times, this is one of those commercials that, like, little girls right now are learning the clap and the rhyme.
They're making their own. Little girls right now are already making their own.
They're wearing the leg sleeve. They're like throwing the pearls on before their AAU games because they're like, A'ja Wilson wears pearls and I'm going to wear a pearl, and they're going to have the pink leg sleeve. This like reminds me of the iconic, and they're all male because that's what they were doing back then for the most part, the like iconic sports commercials of our time. I'm thinking like, you want to be like Mike, that one. I'm thinking Tiger Woods juggling, the golf ball. Are you kidding?
So good.
The Nike freestyle dribbling basketball one.
That's what I'm saying. So you don't think all of us, when that freestyle commercial came out, didn't all try to squeak our sneakers and do those moves?
I was like, you can dribble off your knee. I was in the driveway for hours.
I know. It actually reminds me. Do you remember the movie Sunset Park? I already know you don't. But there's a part where they chant and they do a cheer. They're like, it's time to get live. It's time to represent. Sunset Park, what time is it? You don't think we put Christ the King in the middle of that? That's how we did that chant before every game.
Yeah.
It had a little more, had a little more energy to it. That was just I don't want to sing it right now, but Christ the King, what time is it? And you get louder and louder as you go. Anyways, this stuff matters.
Yeah. It's given that. It's giving iconic commercials. And this is where I wish the soccer chanting culture and basketball fandom would like
join
cross
forces.
Over. Because if I don't hear a bunch of A'ja Wilson inspired cheers at the basketball games where it's like dun 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 dun, dun, and like something, I don't know, when she block, like whatever, monster block, those Olympic ones.
No.
At the volleyball. Anyways.
Oh, at the volleyball.
That's what I want.
Yes.
But anyway, this is just giving like iconic culture shifting, like a moment that everyone looks back to and is like that. So congrats to A'ja and the whole team that worked on this. This is unbelievable. We loved it so much. And obviously so much more to come from you. That's it for this episode, folks. That was a jam-packed one. We will see you next week.